Okay, so I'm sure you've heard the neuroscience principles that nerve cells that fire together, wire together. And well, one of the best people out there talking about this is Dr. Joe, who reminds us that if we keep doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, making the same choices, we are reproducing the same experiences and emotions, and that becomes our neurological hardwiring. So here's a hack for going after that mass of stuff that has become the habit of you. You know, you can think about this hack the way you think about the game Jenga, right? It's this structure that is held together, but there's room for the structure to be destabilized. You can, by doing one thing differently, begin to destabilize the integrity of that structure. So I want you to think about being on the side of a lake, this nice placid lake, and you take a stone and you throw a stone into the lake. Has that lake changed? Yes. The lake is different after you threw the stone in, right? Now, the difference might not be significant, but it's different. And so when it comes to going after that hardwired habit of you, that hardwired experience that you think about and revisit in the same old way, with the same old thoughts, having the same feelings, drawing the same conclusions. When it comes to changing that, your goal, or all of our goals, has to be to insert new behavior in that habitual experience. So what that might look like is, if you're a person who goes from 0 to 1,000 in seconds when you're triggered, you can begin to sort of create a snapshot of what is happening in your ecosystem, in your entire experience. Your thoughts, your feelings, your environment, your body. You can even put pen to paper and literally jot that stuff out. Like, you know, your stomach feels however it might feel, or maybe you feel flush, you know, in your face, or your shoulders might get tight. Whatever your body experience is, write that down. And then move to your thoughts, right? And catch sight of the kinds of thoughts that are present when you fly off the handle. What is it that has made you, you know, react so unconsciously and uncontrollably? I mean, for me, when it comes to someone telling me what I can or cannot do with my life, it can really take me. And I know this about myself, right? So what is that thing that takes you? What are the thoughts that are part of your experience? What is that touch of a nerve that just makes you fly? Write that down. And anything else that you can see or glimpse regarding what is present when you are in that habit of reacting the way you have habitually reacted. Once you have that in front of you, and now you can more consciously, in an untriggered state, see the kinds of things that are part of your habitual experience, you can go at it more consciously. Because what you can see, you can change. And you won't be able to, go after changing all of those systems at once, and you don't have to. You can literally change one thing about how that experience normally plays out. So you might decide to count to 5 or 10. When you feel that feeling that's on that piece of paper happening, that's a red flag. That tells you, oh, that habit is present. I could go any minute now. Or when you begin to feel a certain feeling inside of yourself, or think in a certain tone, like angry or depressed, or whatever your tone, your emotional tone might be. When you see that happening, now that you have identified it in an untriggered state, when you begin to feel it happening, you can say, I see you. I see that habit, and it is rumbling inside of me. Even that, taking time to acknowledge what is happening inside of you in advance of it happening, is new for you. And that newness has the ability to disrupt the pattern, to interrupt the pattern. If you count to 5 or make some other choice as part of your intention of having more agency over this habitual, automatic, flying off the handle experience, whatever you decide that you are going to try to do the next time, you have now inserted into the experience of that ecosystem a new piece, and that new piece disrupts, interrupts, and destabilizes the integrity of how the habit has operated in you up until now. And every time you meet that habit doing one thing differently, it doesn't even have to be the same thing, but just one thing differently, you challenge the stability of the habit.
If a nerve cell is starved of oxygen or nutrients, or becomes isolated from its neighbours, it will die.
And the more you do that, the more you make room for new thoughts. You make room for new feelings, because when you see yourself having gotten ahead of the habit, you'll be able to say to yourself, okay, I got ahead of that. You'll be able to think about, meaning spend mental time considering how that one little choice impacted the overall experience. And maybe it doesn't the first or second time, but the change is that now you're thinking about it. Now you have brought into your consciousness a sense of self-agency and intention about how you want to do things going forward. So in the background, you literally are redesigning your life. You were thinking about how you want it to be different. You have made a plan about how you might change it. You are moving forward intentionally. All of that is different. And that difference, different thoughts, different emotions, different actions, destabilize the habitual behavior that has been the habit of you up until now. I encourage you to try this for yourself and see how you feel. Have a conversation with yourself about what you experience. And the more you do that, the more you make room for more self-agency, for more choice, for different feelings, and a whole new you can eventually emerge. All right, I'm loving you. Inner fitness community, I invite you to stay, join, and learn to turn wellness concepts into action. Living life well takes practice, y'all. So simply click the subscribe button to practice together, grow this conversation, and change the world. I can't wait to read your comments and hear how your life changes for the better. Thank you for subscribing. Let's thrive.